All right. We ready? All right, we're on. We are on. We are live. I am live. My name is Ryan Thomas, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining me on the Thomas Take Sports Podcast YouTube channel. In case you are not a baseball fan, if you are a baseball fan, a Buffalo Bills fan, football fan, fantasy football fanatic, mixed martial arts, hockey, whatever, you name it, hop onto the channel, sift through my playlists. You will enjoy the majority of what you see. I guarantee you that. Guarantee you that. You will like the content that I put out there. I think everybody, to their own extent, likes it in their own way, whether it's me covering baseball, football, mixed martial arts, hockey, you name it. Even a little bit of the finals coverage that I've done, people have enjoyed that. So thank you so much for the support. Please feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel. As always, I need as many subscribers as I can get. I only got about 80 right now, but my Facebook is always blowing up with people watching my videos. I've averaged 5,000 to 10,000 views per live video that I do. And, you know, I'm trying to build the YouTube side of things, trying to make the YouTube side of things bigger because I feel like it's a lot easier to get my stuff out there. It's a lot less time consuming, logging onto Facebook, all that rigmarole stuff that Facebook puts you through to log in. And some of that is what Mark Zuckerberg's dealing with right now, or at least the last month, I should say, with Congress and all the violations that they've had. It's kind of weirded me out to Facebook, to be quite honest with you. I haven't really been on Facebook as much as I usually am. And there's times where I could be on like Amazon or, I don't know, let's just say fanatics.com, which is like a sports memorabilia, apparel website. I could find a Red Sox hat and I see that Red Sox hat. I don't buy it. And it pops up in an ad on my Facebook. That is creepy. That is downright weird. And I don't like it. I don't want my privacy, invaded, but we obligate, we put ourselves in these shoes with the amount of time we spend on these sites known as Facebook and YouTube, and back in the day, MySpace, if everybody remembers that. I know I sure do. But that being said, I'm hopping on live on the podcast, talk about some Boston Red Sox news that really shook up the MLB world for a minute there. Most baseball writers, most fantasy baseball writers as well, were shocked by the news that the Boston Red Sox have decided to designate for assignment Hanley Ramirez, the everyday or every other day first baseman for the Boston Red Sox. And when I had originally first heard the news, I was shocked, just like everybody, said that they would be. I was shocked. I thought that, Hanley was a solid player. I thought he did a lot for this team, for the city in particular. Let me just move this back here. I thought he did a lot for the city and for everybody in particular. He really represented Boston really, really well. He fit in like a glove, pun intended. And I didn't see a reason why Hanley would be designated for assignment if we are not talking about money. Money's thrown in there, then we got a reason. We got a damn good reason as to why Hanley would be designated for assignment if it is based on money, which in this situation it was. There's no two ways about it. Before the season started, during the offseason, there were a lot of rumblings that Hanley might possibly be traded, but no team was willing to work out a deal for Hanley Ramirez, a guy that needed 497 plate appearances at the plate, good, bad, or indifferent, shall I say, plate appearances. As long as he hit that number, that was his jackpot Moneyball number, 497 plate appearances in 2018, he would be due that $22 million, salary. And that definitely is not okay in my estimation. I thought that was a terrible contract that was written up by whoever drew it up. I think it was Ben Cherington. at the time, I didn't think that was a good move to write that in the contract, say, hey, maybe it was Dombrowski. I don't know who did it, but it was bad. And that is why Hanley Ramirez is no longer on the team. And that sucks that it's not because of his play, because frankly, I thought he showed up in really good shape in spring training. I thought he did a lot of things that he was supposed to do, things that were expected of him. But the money is what it came down to. And had a great agreement been put in place for the services of Hanley Ramirez that did not include this ridiculous $497 bonus, or 497 plate appearances bonus, going from 15 million to 22 million in a season, I think Hanley would still be on the team. Let's just say if he was making that 15.2 million on his salary this year, and no 497 plate appearances are needed, it's just the 15.2, I think he actually would have stayed on the team. It's a big difference, especially when you got guys like Chris Sale, especially when you guys got Mookie Betts, which Betts is this. He represents everything that it is to be a Boston Red Sox. He's the best Red Sox player I've seen in quite a long time. So he's got to get re-signed. He's got to come back. He's got to eventually make that return with a long-term. We have to give him the return, return the favor is what I'm trying to say for his services. And I think that they will. I think they have to, being that he's their franchise player. So with all these different circumstances as to why Hanley Ramirez was let go of, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Hanley had this $22 million investment in his contract based on his amount of plate appearances. Now, I made a joke in the beginning that plate appearances, he could strike out 497 times and still get that money. It didn't have, a performance bonus or incentive written in that. It was only if he hit that number in regards to the 497 plate appearances, which this just shows, this situation with Hanley Ramirez just shows how ridiculous some baseball executives are with the contracts, trying to structure things properly, trying to make things happen in weird ways. That's what this was with Hanley Ramirez, and there's no two ways about it. Now, Mitch Moreland is now going to slot into first base for Hanley Ramirez, and some Red Sox fans were a little bit up in the air about that. Me personally, Mitch Moreland has had a fantastic year so far. And I said so far, but he's had a fantastic year. He needs to be rewarded, and he needs to get more playing time if he's playing that well. Another dynamic to this situation that most Red Sox fans are not thinking about is Blake Swihart, whose representation requested a trade from the Boston Red Sox, and Swihart has been a high-ranking prospect in the organization for the last 3-4 years. And now Swihart is going to get that opportunity. He's going to be able to catch. He's going to be able to DH. He's going to be able to play a little bit of first. He's going to get thrown in there far more often than what he had been accustomed to. Spent a lot of time in the minors. He felt like it was his time to join the show and be a part of the Boston Red Sox, and I couldn't agree more with him on that. I think he's a decent player, and I think he's got a lot of room to grow and become even better than he already is. You can platoon Swihart and Moreland at DH. You can platoon Swihart and Moreland at first, kind of go back and forth with both of those guys, which is pretty much what they were doing with Hanley Ramirez. And Swihart is much, much cheaper than $15 million, let alone 22. So dollars and cents wise, it made a lot of sense for the Boston Red Sox to let Hanley Ramirez go. But they put themselves in this situation in the first place by writing this ridiculous, crazy, just outlandish deal that, had these deals never been written in this way, where if a player steps up to the plate X amount of times, whether he strikes out, whether he pops up, whether it was all about Hanley Ramirez's health, which Hanley has shown propensity to get hurt. He could be deemed injury prone, but I would have never put that as an incentive in the contract that if Hanley Ramirez does stay healthy finally, which it looked like he was going to, that we will pay him more money, especially when you had David Price for $31 million, far too overpaid by my humble estimation. You have to bring back Chris Sale on a long-term deal. You have to bring back Mookie Betts on a long-term deal. There's a lot of money that needs to be spent in a lot of different ways. And maybe a 34, 35-year-old first baseman in Hanley Ramirez, who once was a shortstop, doesn't really cut it. I get it. I understand it. I think the Red Sox might have hurt themselves in the long run for this season, but beyond this season, I think they're okay. So slow your roll, relax, Red Sox fans. Everything is going to be all right. Take care.